So this is a prototype of how you could actually go about saving entities remotely while using features to help you create a versionless API, if you will. So here we have two different systems. There are two different addresses. The goal here is to have a centralized help desk and ticketing and support system, while a distributed series of Drupal sites in which these tickets could be theoretically coming from. If you need more background on it, search for information about the CIS setup, and we'll have potentially hundreds of thousands of Drupal sites way down the road, all having to centralize their ticketing and support system, we'll say. So the way I plan on doing this to create a versionless API is actually hijacking the node system. So you see here I have this CIS help desk issue. This will be part of CIS connector down the road. So you see I have a fairly complex content type. And in my help desk, I can go and create an issue, and I'm doing some debugging. So we'll see, here's the information we're collecting some user context info, about what they're running, who it is, where they are, stuff like that. Basic questions you end up asking via email a lot. What is it? So we'll say it's a technical issue, right? And then there's some administrative data that we have. It's different fields like that can be pulled out. So the goal is to get this record here through web services without actually needing to write a lot of code to do so, because I'm perpetually lazy. So you see what we've done is we have the exact same feature turned on this system as well. And so this system has the CIS help desk issue. It is the exact same content type deployed via features. And so I can go to content, add an issue. You see it's very similar. Looks exactly the same, but we don't have the administrative data shown, and this user context info you see is actually being filled out for us. So it's a bit of section context info we can grab dynamically based on who a student is, the course they're currently in, that's this part of the address, it's easy to get, where they are at the moment, and so this will be similar to how I have a feedback button here. You click the I have a problem button, and it'll generate the address of where you currently are. Specs, this stuff comes from some PHP server variables, easy to pull, and who I am, that's very easy to pull as well, based on who's logged in. So let's look at the code real quickly here. Again, this is proof of concept, but right now it's 64 lines of code with substantial commenting. I'm trying to get this down to, I want it to be maybe 10, if that. But the basic idea is we grab the help desk node form. We check to see that it's not the help desk distribution. And when it's not the help desk distribution, we modify some of the values, right? So we go and we grab the default and use the current user. We grab their specs based on the, you can grab user agent pretty easily. We tap the CIS registry, which will give us where they are as the base path. So we can put this on any system is the goal. Grab the section context. This is something available within CIS. And then we go and we hide certain fields. We go and disable certain fields. So I'd like this all to be very generic, done through the form API and exportable if possible. So I could remove all of these basically. And then you see what we do on the end is this is how we actually capture the data and send it off to different locations. So whenever an entity is inserted, check and see if it's this node of help desk issue. We also then do an additional check to make sure that we're not running the current distribution, the help desk distribution, right? So any other distribution except that one this will work on. Then what we do is we use a project called replicate, which we clone the item just for sanitization purposes. Then I have this prepare entity function which does some additional sanitization to make sure that we can send it off. And then we have it's basically one line call saying that we're going to be posting a node. The sanitized data will be sent, and it's going to be sent to the CIS help desk. Then in response, we should get a JSON record. And now I need a better way of handling this gracefully, but right now I'm just deleting the entity as it's about to be created. So, well, it is created, unfortunately, in this book. So we're using the node system to create nodes that immediately are deleted because they're being pushed off to another system. And so to show that this is working, we'll make a general question. Obviously, they would have different buttons in this. This is just for show. So I'll hit save in this system. And we'll see I get a page not found, which is the correct behavior because it was supposed to delete that piece of content. Now if I go over to my help desk, refresh, you'll see we have a new record in here, which is the content I created on the other side with all of my context information as to where I was. So to deploy roll out the help desk now, once we get a better UI for it, I'll just be able to turn this feature on. It becomes versionless in effect because if a change needs to be made to the way that the help desk operates, I can deploy it on a different site, clean it up. Maybe this isn't a real course, obviously, it's a test, but clean it up in a new location. Maybe it's WC 200 or something like that. Change the specification, then export the feature after I've made field changes and push it back to the server for both locations, and people will still just be filling out the same info, and it'll still be receiving it. So I'm going to be doing this a lot in the near future for everything.